Hi, Jeff here, another one of my vlogs that no one watches. Well, it's another lunchtime conversation with me. I'm out here at the Forest Preserve again. It's actually a cold and rainy day. It's down at about 60 degrees and the rain's falling. It's drizzling, just drizzling, but a little chilly. I actually had my heat on in my car on the way here. I want to talk about what happened the other night to me. We were out, me and my wife, watching the amazing eclipse, the solar eclipse with the super moon. Is that what you call it? The super moon solar eclipse. And we were across the road from our house in our neighbor's yard because we had a good view of it there. My wife had her camera set up. She's a nice camera with the tripod and stuff. She was taking pictures of it. And I went inside for a few minutes, and our two dogs were whining because we were outside and they were inside. So I thought, okay, and I put them on the leash, and I took them out with me, and I was talking to my wife, and eventually we saw down the road a couple people walking their dog with flashlights coming at us. So I'm like, well, I'm going to put the dogs back in the house. My wife's like, well, I'm going to move the camera over to our driveway because the moon's moved enough now where she could see it good from our driveway. So I said, okay. I'm bringing the dogs in, and I'm just at the steps, and I have the lights off because we wanted it dark. And suddenly I saw something run by my feet. And at first I thought it was, we have a wiener dog, and I thought maybe it was the wiener dog because it was small. Though I thought it was more light, like whitish or something like that. And I was like, what was that? And suddenly, and the dogs are behind me, so I'm like, well, it wasn't the dogs. They're behind me yet. And then the wiener dog runs over and starts pulling the leash, and she's just like flipping out by the bushes there. I'm like, Suddenly, right in front of me, like 3 inches in front of my feet, a skunk runs out, tail straight up in the air, just runs out. And it ran over down towards the road by our mailbox. And I was like, that was the skunk. So I pulled the dogs. I'm like, told my wife, a skunk just ran in front of me. And she's like, did the dogs get sprayed? And I didn't smell anything. I'm like, no, I don't think so. It doesn't smell bad. And I got over to her. My wife's like, well, if the dogs got sprayed, or Phoebe got sprayed, that's the wiener dog who gets sprayed a couple times a year. If she got sprayed, she would be rubbing her nose in the grass right now. And I look over, sure enough, she's rubbing in the grass. So it's like, ugh. And suddenly, right when I saw her, a wall of skunk smell just whoosh over us. Just whoosh. Not pleasant. So I took the dog in the house and threw it in the tub. We have some stuff, we've store-bought stuff for getting rid of skunk smell, and I was putting her on there. And I know my wife's got some recipe with, I don't know, baking soda or something she uses. But I did that, and I got the dog all washed, and it still stunk a little, and it wasn't actually that bad of a smell. So I think it might have just been a glancing blow. Most of it, I think, got on the side of her house because the whole front yard stunk really, really bad. And it was actually a day later. You could barely tell it even happened. So, but after I got the dog washed, then and we put all the cushions on the couch up to make sure the dog doesn't lay on the couch and get those all stinky. Then I went out and talked with my wife, and we watched the moon get totally covered by the shadow of the earth, and then the clouds moved in, and it was a 9:30 by then. So I'm just like, oh, I'm going to bed. I have to work in the morning. So I went to bed. My wife said she went into the house for a while. Came out a little while later. The clouds had cleared up enough where she could see the other side of it, the moon coming out from the shadow, and that was pretty good. Maybe I'll put some pictures up here in a day or two. Anyway, I'm just rambling on today with my skunk story. Yeah, like twice last year our dog got sprayed by a skunk. This was a small one, though. It's a tiny thing. Last year I was out there when she got sprayed, and I let the dogs out in the backyard at night, and we have a little light on, but it doesn't give you enough light. And just as I let the dogs out, I let them run around, I saw this black blob moving across the yard. And Phoebe takes off after it, and it hits it, and it rolls. And when it rolled in the dark, it dawned on me that was a skunk. That was a pretty bad one. She got sprayed pretty bad that time. Anyway, for those 2 or 3 of you who do watch, I appreciate it. I'll be back next week, or maybe later this week, with another vlog. I like making these, so until later, this is Jeff saying, hey, so long.